Hey everybody, it's TF Renegade here, and I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It's Sunday. Well, it's not Sunday of the recording, but it is Sunday when this is uploaded. And, it's Football Sunday. So what better way to celebrate than with the NFL Transformers collaboration? And we got Tundra Prime from the Green Bay Packers and Steelsmash from the Steelers. Now, there's 4 of these right now. You can get Green Bay, the Steelers, or the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think the other one is the Miami Dolphins. So you do have some choices, but for me, I picked the Steelers because I was a big fan when I was a kid, and I got Tundra Prime over here because, my parents are big Green Bay fans, so I was like, you know what, might as well get this guy, and they both have different head sculpts. I think the other 2 have similar head sculpts, so it really depends on which 2 you choose. You might get the same head on both, or you might get one different and one the same. But, when it comes to these guys, I'm pretty sure the molds are extremely similar. I don't think there's any differences in them aside from the head sculpt. You get little footballs over here. Let's take a look at this packaging. Let's get these guys closer. We'll start off with Green Bay. So over here, you can see he's got a nice football over there. He's got nice Green Bay all over him. He turns into a helmet. You can see that right there. Got the Transformers logo. You got Tundra Prime. It's a pretty nice name. Well, here's my question. Is somebody at Hasbro a big Green Bay fan? Because why does Green Bay get to be a Prime? Who's the leader? What's going on there? And then on the back, we got the render and we got the Green Bay helmet. We got Tundra Prime. We got some nice football stuff in the background, the NFL logo at the top. We got Transformers over here. You can see all that. Green Bay on this side, and then on this side, Tundra Prime's robot mode. And the packaging is so unique because this is NFL certified packaging. So the boxes are not like a traditional Transformers box. And I really love these. These are really unique, and I'm totally on board with this. So taking a look at Steelsmash. Come here, man. So we got the Steelers logo, Steelers helmet right there, Transformers, Steelsmash. We got him over there catching a football. Looks pretty cool. And then on the top, we got the NFL logo. Got another one right there, so it's certified. Same kind of box art. We got Steelsmash over here. On this side, we got the Steelers, and on the back, we got Transformers Collaborative. We got the football star right there, football stadium in the background, NFL, Steelsmash. And yeah, that's about it for these guys. Let's go ahead and rip these open and check them out. So out of the packaging, we can see that Tundra Prime and Steelsmash look absolutely incredible. I really enjoy this mold a lot, but from first sight, you can see that there's a lot of kibble going on here, especially on the shoulder pads over here. But you can actually maneuver those shoulders any way you kind of want because there is a hinge. So you can have them stick outward if that's a look you enjoy, or you can stick them upwards, which I actually prefer the upward look. I think it cleans up a little bit better, but it's pretty much up to you. But when it comes to the backside, they do have a lot going on back here. But the cool part is that this part right here is technically an accessory. There's a lot of parts forming going on with the helmet form, so there is this extra piece, but it is storable on the back, and without it, it actually cleans up so well. So, for turning into a helmet, I'd say that Hasbro actually did a pretty good job at cleaning up this backpack back here. It's really condensed on the top, and yeah, we got these big pieces on the legs over here, but I like the chunkiness of it, but I can see how some other collectors might be turned off by that. But when it comes to the aesthetics on these guys, I think they look fantastic. I'm a little more in favor of the Green Bay colors on the mold just because it's a little bit brighter, but it's really up to you. That's why there's so many different helmets that you can choose from. They're all different colors, so it's really going to be a personal preference of what you think this mold is going to look good in. So like I said earlier with the head sculpts, I actually looked it up and I found out that if you get the Kansas City Chiefs, you're going to get the same head sculpt as Tundra Prime. And if you get the Dallas Cowboys one, you're going to get the same head sculpt as Steelsmash over here. So it's really another personal preference thing, which one you're going to want to get. But to me, it really doesn't matter. I think the helmets on top of the heads cover them up well enough. And yes, you can remove the helmets over here. And you can see they got some pretty tiny heads. I'm not a big fan of how those turned out. They're really tiny, and it looks like they put like a tiny robot in these big beefy bodies, so it does look a little jarring, but their head sculpts are actually really nice. I love Tundra Prime's. I like the little lines underneath his eyeballs. I think that's a pretty cool touch, and I like Steelsmash's a little bit more. I like the visor look with the mouth plate, and there's a lot of molded detail on both of them, and I think it looks pretty cool. And, like I said, they're the same mold. There's really no differences in them. They transform exactly the same. So they have the same things going on here. It's just an aesthetics thing. It's just whatever team you want to pick on this guy. But I really do like the colors on there. And they always have like extra paint on here. Like you can see on the thighs, they have a thicker line over here for the Steelers, and they have 2 over here for the Green Bay Packers. So they like to customize the paint job on these, and it's not like you're getting a copy and paste every time. They do have a lot of care and detail into how the figures look. But when it comes to these guys, I already touched on the shoulders. With the forearms, you can see there's not a lot going on. They're kind of tiny, but I think the proportions are okay on them. They got some nice waists over here. I like the hips on them. I think that's pretty cool that they're on hinges. So you got that there. Both of them have white legs, but they're painted differently. They got different toe colors as well. They both have these little big pieces on the side of their legs over here. And then on the back, they got these little pieces to kind of cover up the gappage in their legs. And I don't think that's terrible. You know, there is some gappage visible, but, you know, they're toys, so I'm not that upset about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for them. So when it comes to the accessories, they both come with football helmets. As I said before, it is removable. And they're actually on little hinges, so you can open up the back part over here. And it makes it a little bit easier to put it on their heads. I like to put this piece in first, so you can just close the mask right over it. So you can do that. And you have another option if you want to. It's not in the instructions, and I don't think you're supposed to do it, but you can take the little cage off the front and you can put it on there and kind of make it look like an old style football helmet, like from the 60s. It actually looks more like a motorcycle helmet, so it's up to you if you want to keep that look. I don't think anyone's going to really do it, but there is an option to do it. And of course, they both come with footballs, like we said with the packaging. We saw that earlier. And the cool part about it is they have tabs on the inside of their hands over here, so you can go ahead and stick those right there. So you can give them both little footballs. Looks pretty cool. Now, the one thing I do want to touch on is that these guys never got weapons. And I don't know if that's a thing, like maybe NFL told them they can't put weapons with these guys, or it was just a decision like, hey, we'll only put a football with them. But nonetheless, they chose not to give them guns, but I'm a little devil and I brought some guns out here. So let's go ahead and pose these guys really quick and see how they look with weapons. So we've given them a couple blasters and you can see they actually look really cool with a couple guns in their hands. And they are Autobots, so they are in a war against the Decepticons. And as it is, I think they do look pretty cool. So if you want to give them weapons and kind of pose them, they do look really awesome. I really dig the designs on these two a lot. They look really cool. So when it comes to the articulation on these guys, they can look to the left, they can look to the right, they can look all the way around if you want them to, and that's with the helmet on. So you don't have to worry about the helmet coming off when you want them to look all the way around like that, but you do have to take it off if you want him to look upwards, which sucks, but it is what it is. So you got that. He cannot look down as well. When it comes to his shoulders over here, it will pop off if you go any higher than this, but you can lift it up to there, which is nice, and you can lift it all the way around, but it does get kind of caught on the backpack back here. But if you take it off, it's a little bit easier, so you don't have to worry about that there. With the bicep swivel, he does have one, so that's great. He does have an elbow bend as well. When it comes to his wrists, there's nothing there. There's no swivel, which is kind of sucky because he's supposed to be a sporty kind of robot, so he should have a swivel on there to kind of maneuver his arm around, but it is what it is. It can only go in and out for transformation. He does have a waist swivel. It's an excellent one. It can go all the way around with no problem, so I'm really happy how that turned out. When it comes to his legs, he can kick forward, he can kick back, and he can kick out all the way, which is nice. He does have a thigh rotation. We love that. And he does have a knee bend. It's a 10 out of 10 on the bend right there. And he does have ankle pivots, which is nice, but it's on a ball joint, so it's kind of limited on how you can kind of move that around because of how much kibble's on here. But for what it is, you can try to make him stand any way you please. So for comparison, let's go ahead and put a small deluxe in here with Beachcomber. You can see how they look together. Looks pretty good. So you got that. And then we'll put a normal size deluxe with Wild Rider. You can see these guys are absolute units compared to him. So you got that. And then we'll bring out another miscellaneous item. Since he turns into a radio, we'll put Blaster back there with him. And you can see, looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and lift that up so you can see that. And then last but not least, of course, we got to bring out the behemoth himself, Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. and I think they look fantastic. So when it comes to the transformation, I usually don't do transformations on the channel, but since these guys aren't getting too much attention right now, I thought I might as well show you, since these guys do look really intimidating to transform. But don't worry, you get used to it after a while of messing around with them. So go ahead and take this piece off of his backpack over there, and then you can go ahead and open up this whole section in the back, and make sure this piece is open in the front a little bit, and you're going to rotate his whole head into there. You can keep his helmet on, it doesn't need to come off, so you can go ahead and put that in there, and then make sure this piece kind of comes up to there, locks into place, and you can rotate it down. On this part, you can go ahead and kind of elevate this piece back just a little bit, and then there's 2 tabs in the front that lock that into place. So when it comes to the arms, I'd say this is probably the worst part of the transformation. It's not hard, but it is really annoying. So you have to elevate the piece upwards and then make sure this piece is rotated to a certain point so it matches up with this over here. And there's this little weird, I don't even know what to call it, just this weird piece right here. And you have to push it all the way in. So you have to push this piece in and make sure that's all the way inward. Go ahead and push that all the way. You can see it right there. Make sure your fist is rotated inside. And then on the side over here, you can kind of line everything up. Make sure this piece is up as well. And it will all line up over here. Make sure it's all tabbed in, so you can do that there. So if you're doing things right, your helmet should look like this so far. So go ahead and turn to the back side over here. And you can take these heels and fold them back inside of his feet, like so. And then these feet are actually going to elevate to these tabs up here. There's tabs on his heels over here, or not his heels, his toes. So you can go ahead and rotate that up, tab that into place there. And the same thing on the other side. Go ahead, tab that in right there. Come around to the back and you can take these pieces, make sure they're lined up right there. You can see there's a little indent right here. You can go ahead and push that right there. Same thing on the other side. Go ahead, make sure that's pushed into place right there. So next up, take your feet and then tab them into place like so. And you're going to take these pieces and rotate them. You see this little curved piece here is going to line up here, and they're going to tab right into place. So make sure you do the same thing over here. So you can see we're forming up the helmet here, and this is the fun and a little bit irritating part of the transformation. So what you're going to do is you're going to take his waist right here and go ahead and rotate that inward up to there. And then his thighs are going to go ahead and go inside the back of his legs. So go ahead and rotate that upward so you're inside of your thighs there. And then close everything up to here. Make sure everything kind of lines up together. And this is the part that's irritating, is lining up all of these tabs and making sure the tabs fit in together. So make sure that's all like that. So after you're done going back and forward, making sure the tabs are in place, you're going to go ahead and rotate the helmet all the way around. And then you got this final piece that's just going to go ahead and elevate down to the tabs down there. And then everything's pretty much complete right there. So to complete the whole look of the football helmet, you're going to take that piece that we had earlier from the backpack of the figure, and you can actually put his football on the inside. There's a little tab in there. You can go ahead, put that right there. So you got some storage, and you're going to line all these pieces up over here. So he's got 2 little tabs right there that are going to fit into these ports on the side. So go ahead and try to line that up over there. And then there's also a tab that's going to fit inside of here. So you can go ahead, kind of make sure both sides are out there. So you can do that. So after you get both sides tabbed in, the middle is going to be the final part. So you're going to make sure all of this stuff is lined up, because you got this here and you got this piece over here. So go ahead, line that up there. Make sure that's all the way up there. And then the other side, make sure everything's tabbed in over there too. And now you have them fully transformed in their helmet modes. And I gotta say, for what these guys are, I think Hasbro did a really good job on them. But that's not to say they're perfect, especially with the Steelers helmet over here. You can see that the black paint and how glossy it is, it's already getting smudged up pretty bad. So you do have to keep that in mind if you're getting a darker color on the helmets. And my Steelers logo is already paint chipping, which is sad. I don't know if that's going to be a common problem, but on my copy at least it is. I don't have any problems anywhere else though. So aside from that, like, that's the main problems with this guy. But with both of them, they do have a lot of gappage going on. You can see just how much they got. This side's over here is supposed to be open, but the rest of it, it is wide open. So I can't really knock it for that, because if I was a designer and someone told me I had to turn a Transformer into a helmet, I'd say they actually did a really good job with what they have, especially with a deluxe budget. These turned out pretty freaking cool. I do really enjoy the look of these guys. And the paint's not that bad, especially on the Green Bay helmet. I really do like the brighter colors on these. I think it looks really, really nice. And then on the inside, you can put the football there, like I said. This is how it looks without it, so it's kind of up to you what you want to do. And you can see they got their feet and their legs on the inside. That doesn't bother me too much. I mean, they're Transformers, so the whole appeal is that these guys can turn into robots. They got nice Autobot symbols on the top. And yeah, aside from that, I mean, that's pretty much it for these guys. I enjoy them. I actually think they're pretty cool, but it's going to be up to you. So for comparison, let's go ahead and slap Beachcomber in here. You can see he's kind of tiny compared to the helmets. So you got him right there. We'll slap Wild Rider in there as well. You can see how he looks. So you got that. And then an item that looks better with them, being a radio, blaster. You can see how they all look together. Looks pretty good. I like that. And last but not least, the Commander in Charge, Optimus Prime. You can see he's about the same size as these guys right there. So there you go. So what are my final thoughts on the Transformers X NFL collaboration pack? So this is where this review is going to go two ways. So for my personal take on this pack, I think it's a win. I do see the value in these guys because these aren't traditional Transformers, right? These are knick-knack items. They're not supposed to be like a specific character that you're supposed to be like, oh, this is from this and that. These are just knickknacks, like little stocking stuffers. You know, they're not amazing Transformers or anything. But I like the way they look in their robot modes. I think these are really cool looking robots, and I don't mind the helmet modes. I like the helmets a lot. So for me, I see the value, and I like this set. But for a Transformers collector who isn't an NFL fan, who doesn't care about that, it's going to be up to you. You know, do you like these robot modes enough to want to get these guys? Or do you just, are you like, I'm not a sports guy, I don't want them. So it's really up to you how you feel about it. And for people in other countries, you know, it's the same thing. If you don't watch American football, these might be like easy passes for you. Or you might like the color schemes on them in the robot modes, and you're like, okay, I think I might want it. So it's really up to you. And, you know, for our foreign guys who watch soccer, you know, their football, I do wish someday we do get a collaboration pack with that. I think it would be cool to get like a Messi Transformer, you know? So we'll keep our eyes out for that. But for right now with the NFL pack, to me, it's a win. So for the collector's rating, I'm going to give this an 8 because these figures are solid. They are pretty cool. And their vehicle mode or helmet modes are okay. And it's just an 8 because it's up to you. You know, like I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 because it's not that high. But for the standards of these figures as little knick-knack items, because that's what they're going for, they are 8 out of 10s, definitely. And for the parents rating, I'm going to go ahead and give them an 8 out of 10 as well, because I do think these are fun little items. You know, the transformations aren't that hard. At first, it's a little intimidating, but I think if kids start messing around with these more, I think they'll start to get the hang of it and they'll enjoy it. So I do think these would be great stocking stuffers. I know the boxes are a little too big, but if you have a way to, I don't know, like, put gifts before the other gifts, I think these would be really cool for kids who like football and Transformers. But aside from that, I mean, that's it for this. I mean, I like these guys. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like the videos. That really means a lot to me. And make sure to leave your comments down below. That is the most important part of these videos, is what you guys in the community think. Do you guys love these guys? Do you hate them? Are you just kind of like, meh, you know, I don't care. So leave those comments down below, and I will see you guys next time.